Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Alrighty. Caught people in the chat room talking. Everybody was excited. They were all chirping about something. And I said, what is going on, people? And they said, aren't you ready for July the 18th? I said, July the 18th. Oh, good Lord. I missed that memo. Fill me in. And they're telling me that the exchange rate is supposed to change on July the 18th. I said, okay, where did you get this information from? Because that's weird that you should bring that up. Guess what? Pimpy has some intel friends of his own. And they work over there within the World Trade Organization. So that's why I was wondering about this July 18th that everybody was talking about. And they're saying, well, there's a meeting with the World Trade Organization. It's happening on July the 18th. They're going to change the exchange rate. So I reached out to my contacts. Yes, that's right. I reached out to them, and let's go over the response, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. So if you head on over to the World Trade Organization calendar, sure enough, right here on the 18th, what do we see? Working Party on Accession of Iraq. Starts at 10. It is on July the 18th. So I was excited about that. Came over here to remind myself exactly what step is Iraq on when it comes to the process. Well, if you remember, it just used to be these two things were colored in. Now we have these two things down here. So they got a little bit more to go, but that doesn't mean the rate won't be spoken about. So here is their response from my intel people. Intel from Devil 2 and Mud Woman. All right, here we go. Pimpy, in regards to Iraq's July the 18th meeting, the WTO has several regular bodies that meet to discuss various aspects of trade policy and agreements. These bodies include the Council for Trade in Goods and the Council for Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights and the Council for Trade and Services. Additionally, there are various committees and working groups that focus on specific issues such as agriculture, sanitary, and phytosanitary measures, and technical barriers to trade. While it is unclear which specific body or bodies will be involved in the WTO and Iraq meeting on July the 18th, it's possible that some of these regular bodies will be represented. Given that Iraq has been a member of the WTO since 2004, there are several potential topics that could be discussed during this meeting. They may include trade facilitation. The WTO's Trade Facilitation Agreement aims to simplify customs procedures, improve transparency, and enhance cooperation between countries to facilitate international trade. Discussions in the area might focus on how Iraq can better implement its TFA commitments and address any challenges faced during implementation. Technical assistance. Developing countries like Iraq may require technical assistance to fully participate in global trade. The WTO offers various programs in this regard, including training workshops, seminars, and resource materials to help members build institutional capacity. During the meeting, representatives from Iraq could seek guidance on specific areas where they need assistance or express interest in participating in particular training programs. Non-tariff measures. NTMs are policy measures other than tariffs that can impact international trade flow. These may include sanitary and phytosanitary measures, technical regulations, and customs procedures. As part of the discussions on NTMs, representatives from Iraq could seek clarification on how certain measures implemented by other members affect their exports or request assistance in addressing any challenges they face when complying with these measures. Agriculture. Agriculture is a critical sector for many developing countries, including Iraq. Discussions may focus on how Iraq can improve its agriculture productivity or address issues related to export subsidies or food security concerns within the context of the WTO agreements. Services. Given that services account for a significant share of the global economic activity, Discussions might also focus on opportunities for Iraq to further integrate into global value chains by liberalizing its service sector and addressing regulatory barriers faced by service providers operating in Iraq markets. Dispute settlements. The WTO provides a forum for resolving disputes arising from agreements over trade policies or practices implemented by member states. With several ongoing disputes involving developing countries like Iraq, discussions might focus on how these cases are being handled within the dispute settlement mechanism or explore ways to prevent similar disputes from arising in the future through increased dialogue and cooperation between parties involved. Accession-related issues. Although Iraq joined the WTO in 2004, it may still have outstanding issues related to accession process that require resolutions during the meeting with the WTO representatives. For example, there might be unresolved matters related to market access commitments or internal reforms required to fulfill membership obligations under various agreements within the multilateral trading system maintained by the WTO, e.g., reducing trade distorting subsidies. Now, here you go. In regards to Iraq's exchange rate. As for your question on Iraq's exchange rate being brought up at the meeting, no discussions about Iraq's exchange rate are likely to be a focus point at the WTO meeting on July the 18th. The World Trade Organization primarily focuses on trade-related issues such as tariffs, trade agreements, and disputes between member countries. Exchange rate policies fall under the purview of financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, or the World Bank, rather than the WTO. So it's not the job of the World Trade Organization to handle Iraq's exchange rate. That's not what they're there for. It's called the World Trade Organization, not the World Exchange Rate Organization. Anyways, they say, I hope this answers your questions. And as you always say, stay grounded and keep bringing people the truth. Sincerely, Angels with a Dirty Face. That's funny. So July the 18th is going to be good. They get to go there, meet with the World Trade Organization. There's going to be information and reforms and requests made by the WTO that they are going to hand off to Iraq. Iraq is going to go over there and drop off additional materials that was requested from the last meeting and ask questions as necessary to make sure that their accession into the World Trade Organization continues to go as smoothly as possible. As far as the exchange rate is concerned, no, it's not going to be brought up there because that's not the job of the WTO. You guys really have to get off that hopium nipple, man. Seriously, I know it's not easy. I know what addiction's like, man. Trust me. It's not very easy when you're addicted to something and you're trying to kick it. Hopium's one of the hardest things to kick. Will the exchange rate change? Yes, of course it will. But there are still some hurdles that Iraq must continue to go through before they make that change. I know everybody wants some kind of date and time frame. I guarantee you, and I promise you this, nobody, not a single person out there anywhere knows what the rate is going to be or when it's going to happen. They will let us all know when the time comes. But in the meantime, if you at least are aware of what you're looking for, it gives you an idea of how long things are going to take. Anyways, I hope that answers a lot of people's questions about what's going to be happening over there at the WTO meeting on July the 18th. I look forward to your comments. I'll get back at you later. I'm out.